Mia.
What am I doing? I'm trying to key everything in.
No worries, Stella. Within a month, we're going to apply SAP to our company. This will make sure your works and our works easier. SAP is a table drive customization software. It allows business to make rapid changes in their business requirement within a common set of programs. User exits are provided for business to add in additional source code. Tools such as screen variants are provided to let you set fields attributes whether to hide, display, and make them mandatory fields. In order to minimize your upgrading cost, the standard programs and tables should not be changed as far as possible. The main purpose of using standard business application software like SAP is to produce the amount of time and money spent on developing and testing all the programs. Therefore, most companies will try to utilize the available tools provided by SAP.
Yay, now it's all in here.
Wow, that's a good news, Lisa. Means that after this, our burdens are going to be lightened.
Doesn't it sound easier for you? For background company, I will explain deeper regarding the ASEAN Foundation. ASEAN Foundation is the case organization chosen as the right organization to be liable to the role of information technology in enhancing the business process. ASEAN Foundation promoting the awareness of the Asian and developing the potential of Asian citizens. The best part of ASEAN Foundation is one of the most famous foreign pillars for and from the citizen of Asia. Since its establishment in 1997, the ASEAN Foundation has successfully managed initiative the Asian countries to serve its four primary mandates throughout the numerous ventures in the thematic areas such as arts and culture, community development, education, and media. Between 2014 to May 2019, the ASEAN Foundation has launched 20 programs, reaching more than 7,000 young people across Asia. Among the hundreds of the projects that have been completed and are currently being applied, the ASEAN Foundation empowers the people of Asia to contribute to the establishment of Asian communities since 1995, and 20 strategic projects have been applied throughout the region and 12 of them recurring programs, which is the key reason why ASEAN Foundation is one of the largest distribution company in Asia with 7,648 young people across 7 countries in Asia. In addition, ASEAN Foundation was told that 90% of our young people who joined the ASEAN Foundation accepted that ASEAN Foundation initiative strengthened their leadership and 21st skills suited the relevant skill that required necessary for young people. Lastly, the ASEAN Foundation offers opportunities to early and mid-career scientists from Asian members states to apply their expertise and analytical skill to address public policy problems, depending on the role of information technology in improving business activity or business process.
Now, the part analysis is going to cover 6 main discussions, which are description on the information system, background of the project, problem on the adoption of the system, functions and benefits of the system, advantages and disadvantages of the system, and impact of the system on operation of the organization. First and foremost, let's look at the description on the information system. The organization used a vendor named PT Sterling Tulus Cemerlang recommended by SAP Asia. This PT Sterling contributed to assisting and guiding the organization to set up their business. About their investment in the organization, ASEAN Foundation received sponsorship from SAP Asia, so 16 users license was given them for free. Adding up to USD 60,000 was granted to the organization in cash and transfer to pay training and implementation fee to the vendor mentioned previously. As for the person in charge, PIC, who is the head of operations responsible to ensure the procurement, accounting, and HR models are running properly. Secondly, I'm going to explain about the background of the project. The organization utilized this offline software which was restricted distinctly to accommodate the accounting records. So it interrupted their daily process in business because it was held in offline. Thinking about the enhancement approach, the organization attempted to discover better programming that can oblige organization, procurement, accounting, and HR needs. However, due to internal budget constraints, they approached one of their donors to sponsor them some new softwares. Obviously, this organization faced one or two problems at the earlier stage when they wanted to adopt the system. They were skeptical on choosing softwares because they had to think which is the best, either physical server or cloud, to help programming activity. Now, let's look at how the software system works and what are the benefits it gives. The full name for the software system is Systems, Applications, Products in Data Processing, which comprised as SAP. SAP is an integrated business software to deal with all functionalities of an organization to acquire a unified solution. It's a table drive customization programming which allows organizations to make quick changes in their business necessities with a typical set of programs. And for the benefits, the SAP R3 provides the capability to run financial, resource, cost accounting, production operations and materials, personnel plans, and archived documents. The latest version of R3 is available, which comprises a comprehensive internet-enabled package, is like icing on the cake. What software system doesn't have advantage and disadvantage, right? For a start, let's look at the advantage of SAP. Users can access through online from any devices, not only from computer. Approvals can be done in the system itself, which makes it flexible to the time and place. Less papers are used since the procurement, accounting, and HR is processed and stored digitally. On the other side, since the organization choose to access software through online, now it costs higher. The facility of the system that can do customization based on customers' need, for example, reporting purpose, requires extra budget to implement. The last part is the impact of the system on operation of the organization. The system mostly gives positive impacts as it smooths the activities, particularly the buying and payment process. Now the planning processes are much more better in terms of the payment schedule, closing schedule, and reporting schedule. So yeah, I think that's all for the part for analysis. Now I shall pass to the next presenter to continue this presentation.
Now, let me move on to the system approach, which covers the input, transformation process, and output, those three components. First, let me do a little background introduction on what transformation process is. This refers to an activity or a group of activities that take one or more inputs and transforms and adds value to them, thus providing output for customers or clients. Usually, inputs are raw materials, and it is quite easy to identify the transformation process involved. For example, if milk is transformed into cheese and butter. When information is the input instead, then the nature of the transformation may be a little less obvious and harder to identify. For example, the input could be clients facing a law charge, and the output will be clients who have resolved that criminal or civil charge. Now, looking at our case study, we can see that there are transformation processes that cover changes in the purpose of information or the form. As we know, types of transformation actually cover manufacture, transport, supply, and service. For the case of ASEAN Foundation, the transformation process is service. This can be seen from the following analysis of the system approach. The macro operation, for example, might be planning a payment schedule or a budget for the future fiscal year. Looking at the micro operation, we can see that employees of ASEAN Foundation might have to use components of the SAP software like funds management and integrate this with, for example, the budget control system. This is just one example of the many uses of the SAP software. In particular, we can see that the methods or the part of the software used for the transformation can include the SAP accounting software and the budget control system. Generally, we can see that the input for this activity is the raw figures. The transformation process was the input of these figures into the SAP software, and the output, the final usable product, is the usable reports of the payment schedule or the budget report for the future year. Generally, the reason why an organization might want to use something like SAP accounting software is because of the fact that this software actually brings together the process of recording and storing financial data. This means that, as we mentioned earlier, companies do not need to store their data on pen and paper. Instead, an accounting system software allows for various phases of the business, which are called modules, to be brought together and information stored in one database. For example, this might include modules like accounts receivable, accounts payable, the billing, inventory system module, as well as sales order and bookkeeping. This will, of course, make up the core operations of any enterprise. And because SAP is a provider of such a software, this means that it can be readily implemented into ASEAN Foundation's computers, and it has been already established as a good technological infrastructure. Therefore, I'd like to summarize that we can see from our analysis that the system approach of SAP in the context of ASEAN Foundation is that the input might have been the raw figures of any expenditure. The transformation process was the input of these raw figures into the SAP software, which was then transformed via the SAP accounting software into modules of different types. This is then integrated into funds management, for example, so that later on the employees can further integrate with the budget control system and come up with a future planning payment schedule or a budget for the coming fiscal year. So the output is a readable or printable report that can be sent to all employees as well as the top management.
So, what we have learned when we are doing this research assignment? Basically, this assignment has taught us about integrated system that can be applied in big companies. So, actually, most of us are not aware on the existence of system such as SAP, ERP, and something like that. So when we are doing this assignment, we become more exposed by the data information about the integrated system in Malaysia. Also, we have more visualization on this system in which we can apply later when we are in working environment. This research has given us so many new things and we learn it. And personally, we cannot wait to apply it later when we are in working environment. Personally, for us, it is so heartwarming to have Dr. Zaka as our lecturer for this semester for this operation and knowledge subject because of her patience while taught us for this whole semester. I'm sure we will miss Dr. Zakia. Thank you for teaching us and we will miss you. Thank you.